she was the type who came back with backup. Maybe the HOA board. Maybe a lawyer. The thought didn't scare me. If anything, it made me smile. Because if they wanted a fight, I had something they didn't: proof. Solid, ironclad proof that this valley was mine, and no HOA ebook could touch it. That evening, I pulled out my property folder again, flipping through old deeds, surveys, and maps. The original boundary stretched farther than most people realized. My grandfather used to say, if you own something, you better know every inch of it. I did. And I was ready to show anyone who questioned it just how deep those boundaries ran. As the sun dipped low, I stood on my porch and looked across the valley. The cabins glowed softly, the pool reflected the sky like glass. This place was my sanctuary, my escape from a noisy, demanding world. If Karen thought she could barge in and claim a piece of it, she was about to learn a hard lesson. The very next morning, sound of tires crunching on gravel proved I was right. A white SUV rolled up near the pool fence. Two men stepped out, both wearing polo shirts with the HOA logo stitched on their chests. Karen had called in reinforcements. I grabbed my hat and walked out to meet them. "Morning," I said calmly. "What can I help you with?" The taller one cleared his throat. "Sir, we're with the Valley Ridge HOA. We understand there was a misunderstanding yesterday." "Misunderstanding?" I raised an eyebrow. "Your resident trespassed, screamed at me, and called 911. That's not a misunderstanding, that's harassment." The younger man tried to smooth things over. "We were under the impression this pool has been used by the community for years." "You were mistaken," I said firmly. "This entire valley, pool, cabins, all of it, is my private property. Your HOA ends 3 miles south of here." The older man frowned. "Are you certain you have documentation?" I pulled the folder from under my arm. "Original deed, county surveys, tax records. Take your pick." I laid the papers out on the fence, pointing to the official boundary line stamped with the county seal. "Your HOA stops here," I said. "Everything beyond this ridge is mine." The younger man flushed. "We should have verified the boundaries." The older one tried one last angle. "Perhaps we could arrange shared access." "No," I cut in. "I built this place for peace, not HOA drama. Tell your residents to stay off my land, or the sheriff will handle it next time." They left shortly after, dust trailing behind their SUV. But I knew this wasn't over. Karen didn't lose quietly. That night, I found a note taped to my gate. "This isn't over. You can't keep us out forever." No signature. None needed. By the third day, Karen returned, this time with a small convoy. She marched up to the gate with several HOA members behind her, all dressed like "Hey, we're headed to a board meeting. You can't block us from this pool," she announced loudly. "The board agrees you're being unfair." I wiped my hands and stood tall. "This is private property. You have no authority here." She smirked. "We'll fine you. We'll take legal action." "You can't fine someone who isn't in your HOA," I said calmly. "Now leave," she ordered. Add her group to take photos, documenting my pool, my cabin, my barn. I stepped forward. "Your trace passing. Leave now or I call the sheriff." When I pulled out my phone and started dialing, her CONF. Idents finally cracked. She stormed off, yelling that this wasn't over. That night, I met with Sherry. F. Daniels. He listened carefully and nodded. She's bluffing, he said. HOA can't touch your land. You've got the law on your side. The next morning, flyers appeared around town accusing me of illegally blocking a community pool. That was the moment it stopped being annoying and became personal. I gathered everything: deeds, surveys, receipts, photos of me building the pool. Then I went to T. He county clerk and got certified copies of every record. After that, I paid a visit to the HOA pres. I laid the documents on his desk. Your resident is lying. This stops now. He promised to sue a correction, but I could tell he didn't have the backbone to stand up to Karen. So I did it myself. I posted a letter across the HOA community boards explaining, clearly and legally, that the EY was private land and trespassers would face consequences. The phone calls started almost immediately. Some apologized. Others begged me to go easy on Karen. I didn't budge. Then came the town meeting. Karen tried to put me on trial in front of the entire community. She pointed at me, accused me of hoarding a public amenity. I walked to the front, dropped my binder on the table, and laid out the facts. Certified county maps. Deeds. Surveys. The room went quiet. An older man stepped forward, studied the documents, and said, "He's right. This isn't HOA land." Karen turned red. She threatened court. "Do it," I said. "I'll win." Even the HOA president finally admitted the truth. The meeting ended. The crowd dispersed. Karen stormed out. A few days later, her lawyer sent a threatening letter. I laughed and took it straight to my attorney. He shut it down with one response, complete with an old contract proving the HOA had relinquished all rights to this valley decades ago. That was the end. Karen never came back. Weeks later, the valley was quiet again. No cars. No shouting. Just the wind in the mesquite trees and sunlight dancing on the pool. Standing there, I realized the fight had never really been about a pool. It was about boundaries. About dignity. About not letting loud people rewrite the truth just because they think they can. This land was mine. I earned it. I built it. And I protected it. And sometimes, that's all standing your ground really means.